Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to fit a set of Oxford grips, heated grips, to the Kawasaki. There's going to be one or two mods to this Kawasaki this week because Claire now has a full licence and she rather likes riding it. The first thing she wanted was heated grips. Take the grips off. The easiest thing I suppose is to cut them off with a Stanley blade, but I actually rather like to keep any original stuff from the bike. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm just prying the grips away from the handlebars and squirting a bit of WD-40 up there, and then using a long thin Allen key just to run around between the handlebars and the grips, and I find that that brings them off without any problem at all. And then just repeat the same procedure on the other side. So these Oxford heated grips, there's a positive and a negative wire which connect directly to the battery. So the first thing I did was take off the seat to expose the battery, and then I had the idea of removing the tank to feed that power wire up underneath the tank and to the headstock. So I'm starting to unbolt the tank, but soon realised that I didn't know how to do it. So what I did was just lifted the tank up without taking it off because I didn't want to risk damaging anything. Here's a close-up with the seat off. I had to take off the catch for the seat, or the bracket for the seat, to expose these two bolts here in order to lift the tank off, but I've bottled it and decided not to take the tank off. There's enough clearance to feed the wires under the tank and clip them into place. I had to clean up a bit of glue on the handlebar itself, and then used a little bit of WD-40 just to lubricate the handlebar and the grip, and then I used this, which is the end of a jack, and that was just the right size to tap the grip all the way home. I've unbolted the tank but haven't been successful in getting it off. I couldn't find a video on how to get it off, so what I've done is just lifted it. Let me try and show you underneath. I'm just looking for enough room to thread the cable through from the battery. So mounting the control panel, I found that the Kawasaki Allen bolt here is too recessed for a nice flush fit. So what I did was use the bolt and the spacer that's supplied in the kit, the spacer behind the bracket and the bolt through the front, and that gives a better fit. It's a shame that these are not black. Perhaps I'll paint them black at some stage later. In the meantime, I need to route these wires in such a way that they're not going to snag on the steering. So I'm doing my best to follow the routing of the existing cabling on the bike. So using the connector here, the strap here rather, the control panel and that heated grip coming down to here. There's the control panel, and there's the right hand side and the left hand side. So they've all got to be joined up and then connect to this, which is the power supply from the battery. So it's just a question of finding somewhere nice and neat to try and tuck these wires. Perhaps behind here somewhere would work. So what I've managed to do is tuck the wires behind here. You can just see the white box there, the little connector. So the wires are all connected up behind here, and then the single wire that comes from the battery has been routed along here under the tank and is here. And what I'm going to do now is tidy that away under the tank, and I think that's going to be job done on the wiring. There's actually plenty of room under the tank, so what I did was just feed the power supply under the tank and zip tied it to what was available. With the bike fully reassembled, those wires are completely invisible. This is future me. Quick edit here on the Oxford heated grips. As they are at the moment, when you install them, that feels really tight. There's no movement in there at all. But when the grips have been on for a little while, it must soften what was left of the Kawasaki glue underneath, and these actually do twist. So when you're installing them, do use the glue that comes with the Oxford kit, just to make sure that you don't have that unsticking situation with the heated grips on. Okay, so we've moved inside because we were getting a few showers when we were putting on the heated grips, which are now fitted. The next job is these Voigt, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, bar risers. And the reason for them is that Claire is going to be riding this bike for the majority of the time. She's got a Ducati Scrambler and she's used to a slightly higher bar position. So we're just going to take off the Kawasaki clamps, put the Voigt risers in, and then see how that feels for her. So the kit comes nicely packaged. We've got the bullet aluminium risers, the tops and bolts, and a set of plastic covers just to fill in the tops of the Allen bolts. Very impressed with the quality. So first job obviously is to get the Kawasaki handlebars off. I just put my soft jacket there just to prevent any scratches to the tank, but luckily everything just moved forward over the instrument panel. And the Voigt risers simply fit in the cups where the handlebars fit, and you screw them into place with the bolts provided. Okay, so you can see that these risers sit in there. They lift the handlebars up and also pull them back very slightly. You get 6 little rubber bungs. Why they don't give you 8, I don't know. So 2 to cover up there, then you bolt the handlebars on, and then you've got 4 for the final 4 Allen bolts, but I don't know why they don't give you 8. You have to use the Allen bolts that come with the kit because the Kawasaki ones have got a flange on them and they won't fit into the tops. And so obviously just refitting the handlebars now with the risers in place. And that's it. Claire sat on the bike. We've had the fitting. That's where she wants them. Overall, easy to fit, very straightforward, well made. Brings the bars higher and slightly further towards the rider. What I'll do, I'll carry those Allen keys around with me for a couple of days just to make sure that she's absolutely perfectly happy and comfortable. In terms of cable wiring, there was no trouble at all in fitting. Just had to take a little bit of slack out of here. And what I will do is go out on a test ride just to make sure that there is nothing snagging, nothing pinched, nothing too tight. And for the final job with this modification is fitting the new Michelin Road 6. We have a playful dog, won't leave me alone. So, tyres. I've done about 300 kilometres on these Michelin, and I've actually scrubbed them down to about here, which is pretty damn good for me. I am no ghost rider or superbike rider, and to get that far over, I'm impressed with myself. The tyres, I've ridden them in wet to damp to dry conditions in one go, and I found them absolutely fantastic. The normal kind of upright riding position, they just glide almost as if there's nothing there. But when you come to a roundabout or a bend, there really is a lot of extra grip. Now, I did catch myself out once or twice on a road that I don't ride that often, and the bend just kept on going and going and going. I wasn't carrying a lot of speed, but I just cranked the bike over a bit more and felt incredibly confident in the corner. So I think these are a fantastic upgrade. Claire didn't like the feel of the Dunlops at all. And for a novice rider, she does have a very good feel for tyres, I have to say. Anyway, they've been done. And the bike is a hell of a lot better for it. I'm going to wrap this up now. Ikey dog. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe and share. And I'll see you in the next video.